Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Ian Cooper, and today we're going to be playing Questworlds. And for those of you that have never heard of Questworlds before, it's Chaosium's fast-paced storytelling game. Some of you may know it by its previous names, Hero Wars and Hero Quest. It was originally written by Robin Laws and Greg Stafford, and I've had the privilege of being able to develop the latest version of the game. We're going to be playing in a setting called Pioneer Space today. So Pioneer Space is a rocket pump setting that's retro science fiction based on the novels of authors like Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, and Andre Norton. It's an optimistic view of the future where humanity has spread to the stars, but it's also an era without transistors or our digital revolution. So everything is analog, big switches, and chrome. You can think of it as slide rules and blasters. Humanity has spread to the stars. The gate drive makes that possible. No one knows who put the gates up, but humanity has used them to travel between the stars, spreading out on the gate lines, finding new worlds to explore, settle, and exploit. Billions live off Earth. The core worlds are dull, but pioneer spaces for the restless, those looking to escape for whatever reason and find adventure and excitement on the lure of the frontier. Okay, so
Hell yeah.
you know who I am? Let's get everyone to introduce themselves and they can introduce the characters that they're going to be playing today. And then I'll run through our introduction of the rules for everybody because these folks are new to the game too. And for those of you listening in. So I'll just run down the list as I've got it here. So can we start with Josephine?
Oh gosh, I love going first. Um, Hi, I'm Josephine McAdam. Today I'm going to be playing Allie Mack, a super charismatic journalist, trying to get to the bottom of what went down here. I know that there's something untoward, something that's not being spoken about, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. It's basically what I'm all about. I think I'm going to have an accent, and you'll find out in like 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay, next on my list is Rachel.
Hi there, I'm Rachel Williams, pronouns she or they, and I'll be playing Maisie Daly, the assertive scientist. I think the Lost Expedition made a major discovery, and I'm gonna figure out what happened.
Excellent. And Dom, how about you?
Hello, I'm Dom Allen, and I'm going to be playing the grumpy spacer, Norm McDurk. I just think this is a whole bad idea. I don't want to hang around. We need to get in, get out before something weird happens. I've seen too much weird stuff. I just want to rest. I want to go home already. And I got my robot,
Uh,
of course, which
Yeah. So what one
sometimes
option in
works.
Questworlds is you can have a sidekick. So Dom's going to have a sidekick he can play just as a secondary character. And
Yeah,
Dom, that
and
is
So
he's
going to
good.
called
be
Berners-Lee. He's a rusty hunk of junk, barely works. Isn't that right, Berners? I
yeah.
don't know how Berners talks. We'll work that out.
I like Bernader. Please keep.
Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, Liv.
Hi, I'm Liv Kennedy. Pronouns she, her, and I'm playing Lisa Tarbuck. Pronouns also she, her. I'm a daring xenoanthropologist. I'm fascinated by alien cultures. I might speak with a little bit of a kind of David Attenborough-esque vibe, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm convinced that the previous expedition stumbled onto something that didn't want to be disturbed, and I want to get to the bottom of that. So we'll see.
All right. So before we get into the game, I'm going to just briefly explain how the rules of the game work. So it's pretty simple. It is what we call an opposed D20 system. So that means we only roll if there's a chance of fatally being interesting. You roll a D20 and I roll a D20. So characters don't have characteristics, they just have abilities within Quest Worlds. So an ability is how you do something. And we can classify three types of abilities. So you'll see those in character sheets. A keyword. So a keyword is something like an occupation or a heritage. So something like you are a police detective, or your heritage is something like you come from New York. And generally, we as a group would agree, what do we think that means? Now, we can produce something called a genre pack, which has some text that says, hey, in our setting, a police detective could do all these things. But normally we just agree, hey, that sounds reasonable, like a thing you could do. A breakout, which is under a keyword, And that is essentially something you are particularly good at. So if your police detective might be a crack shot, so you can have a breakout, and it usually that's listed as kind of a plus, like a +5, +10. So that is a plus to the rating number of the keyword. And then there's some standalone abilities. So they represent things that are just individual, unique things that you can do. And you also have a flaw, right? So a flaw represents some kind of weakness of personality or character. All right. So what happens is if you want to do something, you simply describe doing it. If you have an ability, then often you can just do it without any difficulty. If I decide it's interesting, it's uncertain, we'll roll a d20. You need to roll equal to or under your ability. If you roll equal to your ability, you get 2 successes. If you roll under your ability, you get 1 success. If you roll over your ability, you get no successes. I get a target number of the difficulty. So that's something like 5, 10, 15, 20 usually. And I have to do the same, roll under 2 or equal, but we compare the number of successes. If we have the same number of successes, the higher roll will win. Okay, so let's say one of you has to roll against a 10, and I have to roll against 15, and I roll, say, 7, and you roll 9. We both succeed, both have 1 success, but you have the higher roll at 9, so you won. We can use the number of successes, the difference between how well we roll, to determine how good something was, but we don't have to do that unless we decide we need a little bit more mechanical thought about how well you achieve something. There's no hit points. Typically, if things go wrong, I may give you a penalty. The other things to understand are augments. So you can sometimes look at your character sheet and feel like I've got a bewildering array of skills. Or what somebody may say, I want to help you do that thing. We can do an augment. Generally, what about augments is they're typically color, unless we all think that brought us joy that you did that. So then I'll give you a bonus like a +5 or a +10, right? And similarly, I might just hand out situational bonuses because you describe doing something clever or cool, and I say I'm going to give you a bonus for doing that. Right? That's pretty much the rules. Does that make enough sense? And I'll help you step through it when we come to our first rolling of the dice. Does that make enough sense right now for you to feel I have some clue what is happening in my life today?
Yeah. And you'll help us. We'll be fine.
I will hold your hand through the whole thing. It'll be absolutely fine. Right. There is a more complicated resolution than that. We won't get into that. We won't touch it today. Right. It's for advanced things we might want to do. All right.
Great.
Everybody feel comfortable at that point? We can
and we can just kind of throw out some of these, like some of the equipment we have that we may not know how exactly it works, but I'm sure you'll tell us.
Yeah, we can discuss equipment. So on your character sheet, you may have some listed equipment. So there are different, depending on different settings, there are different ways of doing things. But mostly the key rule in Questworlds is a thing called the credibility test. So the credibility test says when you describe doing something, can you do it? So in settings like science fiction or fantasy, one of the things that tells us can you do something is typically a kind of like a small text description of a spell or a description of how a high-tech item works. So you'll have on your character sheets in Pioneer Space, you've got some things written as tags, and those tags just generally are shorthand, the version of a description saying, hey, what could this piece of equipment, what kind of problems could it solve? Generally, you'll find they're kind of words like stun or particle accelerator for weapons, or you might find you've got things like sensors, or I think one's keep on trucking as a word tag that gets thrown around. And generally, they just describe what could you do, right? But we can figure that out if it need to be. Generally, what it means is if there's any doubt about, hey, could I solve this kind of problem? We could look at the tags and see whether or not that seems appropriate. But otherwise, mostly, do we as a table think that's true? Then it's true. All right.
Great. I love it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Should we get started? Yeah. Good. Awesome.
Do it.
All right.
Yes.
So you are amidst the crew of the starship RSS Discovery. The RSS Discovery is a science and research vessel which travels to new worlds and makes important scientific discoveries, Typically, though, because somebody has to pay the bills, often paid for by the exciting documentary that people like Ali Mack make and send to the folks in their homes in the core world, which basically brings the money that pays for the science.
You're welcome.
You have traveled to the world of Eos. So Eos is a new world on the frontier, recently discovered by the patrol. Gates can be difficult to find, and they found a new gate which has led them to this world of Eos. You are being given time to conduct two goals. One is a planetary survey to determine whether or not this world is safe for exploitation. And the other is effectively that there is a previous scientific mission sent with exactly the same goal that has gone missing and nothing has been heard from them. Okay. The other thing to note, just for a bit of background, is that a commercial interest, Star Metal, is keen to exploit barite deposits, which is a mineral used in atomic reactor shielding on the planet, but they can't go ahead until you say, hey, we wouldn't do massive catastrophic ecological damage by exploiting this planet. So they need your sign off on the report that you're going to make. All right. Okay. And we will start, I think, we'll open up with your ship has recently landed on the planet. In Pioneer Space, you are on a tall, thin, cigar-shaped rocket ship landing on its fins. You are probably all seated together in the galley area on one of the upper decks of the ship. In front of you, you probably have your lovely Insta-Wave dinner and your Caftab instant coffee. Maybe you're enjoying a lovely tube of food paste. And maybe you're all seated together at the table. The captain of your ship has just been briefing you all about your arrival, and he seems angry. The captain's name is
just to say, I'm knocking back some food paste absolutely right now.
Alan Vasquez. Yeah. How is that food paste?
Oh, delicious. It's a perfect way to wake up. Perfect way to wake up. In fact, I'll offer it around. Anybody food paste? Strawberry? Anyone?
Oh, no.
I remember when they had proper flavors.
Such as?
Roast beef, tomatoes, cabbage and celery. That was a good one. Now it's all strawberry and bubble gum, and I can't eat. I can't touch this stuff.
Yeah. Just just act like this isn't here. As I'm gonna slide on like a voice pad recorder like on the table, and like there's a little camera kind of pointing up at a weird angle at us. Norm, how long have you been in the business? You seem like you've been around.
Too long. I should retire. I really should be out of this game. What is that thing? Turn it off. Is that looking at me?
Oh no! It's just part of the just doing a little recording. We gotta document what we're doing here, right?
I have one of those. I use it when I don't want people to know I'm spying on them.
Oh no, but this isn't untoward. I just told you all.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, you have. Yes. I press a button in my pocket. Yes.
I mean, you've probably seen my work before, so I'm sure you won't mind. Maisie, tell us a little about your work here too.
I'm really trying to think, and I think while this conversation is going on, Maisie's just kind of vaguely waving her hand towards Lisa, being like, "Yes, give me the strawberry food paste. Yes."
Bam, pass it over. Bam.
And then she takes a very intense on this paste. It goes, I look, I really don't have time for this right now. I know you're supposed to be kind of a big thing, but I've got some really important things to figure out.
Yeah, real important things. Yeah.
Science. So
yeah.
What I'm interested in is xenobiology. Do you want me to write that down for you, or?
Oh no, I got it. That's what the recorder's for.
Okay, great. I think she just launches into a little spiel that uses way too many acronyms and way too much jargon and is probably ultimately useless for whatever documentary Ali Mack is making.
That's fine. I can just edit it out later. Um, uh, Miss Tarbuck,
Yeah.
do you do this often?
Oh, I love it. I love exploring. I love going out and finding out about new little alien creatures. I found a little guy recently. There's a little guy.
You found a little guy?
I
What
did,
is
yes.
that? Please,
It's
please
just
explain what that means exactly.
absolutely.
Oh,
I think look, no. Look, no, I know you said don't bring it on back on the ship, but I mean, of course I didn't do that. So basically, I think I'm the first person who found the little guy. So I have named it a little guy. The whole of the alien race, is a
You
little guy
you have
now.
you
Yes,
found it, yeah, and we haven't heard anything about it on.
I don't believe
And
we have. Maybe we have, and I've just
that
ignored it.
seems
But
shocking, right? That
it
seems
is.
Mhm.
unlikely.
Mm,
Okay,
how many
yeah,
legs has it
yeah.
got?
it's
How many legs?
like seven,
I
maybe, give
seen
or take.
seven.
You
I seen seven before. I'm not impressed.
Oh, I'll have to find more legs. Shit.
a seven-legged little guy that none
Mm.
of us have heard or read about on the
I've
news. Okay,
probably
all
read
right.
about it.
You
I've
Oh, sure,
probably read about
okay.
it. I just want to
maybe
say that.
if you want if
Even
you
Earth
want to have a
spiders
look,
have 8 legs, 7 legs. Psheh.
it's definitely not a spider. Definitely not a spider. I didn't just bring a spider with one leg that was gone onto the ship and call it a little guy. That would be
You
weird.
plucked a leg off a spider? Is that what
I
you
did
did?
not pluck a leg off of anything. I would not disturb the natural state of any being. I just don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll do some
How
more
many
research.
eyes has it got? 8 eyes?
We
Seven
haven't been that
legs?
close. I
Damn.
haven't really looked that close, I think it's a fair amount of eyes, but I think it's fine.
Is
Amazing. Maybe we can look over it later.
um Ian, is the captain here?
The captain is sort of shuffling onto
Oh,
to the galley deck. Everyone is starting to look around to pay attention to. It's actually her, Elena Vasquez, and she looks at you all and says, "Welcome everyone to EOS. I'm sure you're all anxious to get started. The XO will shortly be handing out assignments. Some of you have probably seen out the windows." Star Metal appears to have a much bigger presence here than we'd expected. They're supposed to be here with just an advanced base in case we give them the go ahead, but I can clearly see that they seem to be there's a lot of what looks like to me mining equipment. I'm going to be sorting
mm.
that out, but just be aware that I know that's going on, and meantime, the XO is going to be coming around to hand out your assignments. Malcolm, you see a figure next to Elena. Malcolm, he's got glasses on and a kind of clipboard, and he wanders around to folks going over to their tables, having a quick chat with them. And rapidly, he's kind of over at your group's table. He looks you over, runs down his clipboard, and says, yes. Uh, Great. Ali, that says here that there was a request for you to be amongst one of the first groups to head out towards the abandoned base of the previous expedition.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm going
correct.
to set you up with that assignment. You're going to need to take Norm. Norm, you'll need to be the driver, pack up enough kit, shove it in one of the crawlers, and Maisie and Lisa, if you'd like to accompany them and do an early survey, see if you can find out anything from the previous expedition's notes, equipment, anything you can find in the base about what they may have discovered here. All
Okay.
right, everybody keen to get moving this morning? Got enough calf tab? All right. If you folks head down the elevator, I'm sure that Wes and the rest of the crew will have got some of the crawlers offloaded by now, and you can make your way out.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? The captain seems a bit annoyed, right? A bit angry. Everything okay? Or
We weren't expecting quite so many people outside. When you get down, it's going to be a bit noisy. It looks like Star Metal is completely ignoring the prohibition on them doing any kind of mining right now until we've completed this survey. We'll try and sort it out, but just be careful out there. There's Star Metal folks wandering around, prospectors, miners, some tough old people. Any trouble? I'm sure Dom will help you sort it out.
Gotcha.
Dom.
Gotcha.
Norm.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, Norm. Yeah, Norm. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong part of the screen.
That's all right. I say, he rolls his eyes and shakes his head. That's the money men for you. They don't wait. They don't care about no 7-legged, 8-eyed bugs. That's just the way. I ain't surprised. I seen this everywhere. Jeez.
Hey, Norm, you a skilled driver? Because, I got a little bit of a sensitive tongue. So if we're going out there, just, keep it smooth for me, yeah?
Listen, I've driven across ice plateaus. I've driven
I bet
on
you have.
burning hot, volcano-pocked moons.
Mhm.
You won't get travel sick with me.
Oh,
You won't.
great. So glad I've been given this stellar crew. So glad that you'll all be accompanying me.
If it ain't smooth, it'll at least be quick.
very quick.
Okay.
Yes, you might be
Exo
jostled around a little bit, but it's fine.
Peers over his glasses and looks at you and says, "No, you're still here."
Oh, sorry. All right, getting up.
Oh,
Up.
let's
Yep,
go. Let's
here we
go. Just gonna finish.
Don't rush
tube
me.
of
I'm an old
paste.
man. I gotta. It's one of they changed the way the gears work in this thing. The gear sticks on the different side. This model, I hate it. Oh, this is gonna take me a couple of minutes. You sit yourselves in. I gotta work out where all the buttons and dials are. Is this
Okay.
thing tuned up? Stop.
I'm
fiddling
sitting
with
at the
everything.
front, mounting the camera, kind of facing out the front windshield.
Okay.
Nice.
So the crawler is kind of a classical ATV. It's amphibious and it needs to be around here because this area is pretty wet. When you're all downstairs and kind of mounting the crawler, throwing some equipment aboard, it's not built for comfort, right? It is definitely, seats and bits of metal hanging off and roll bars and crash equipment. But so it's going to be a bit of a bouncy ride. But the other thing you'll certainly notice is the area is teeming with people moving what look like mining trucks. The ground is kind of chewed up. You can see on a bit of higher ground, there are huts and prefabs, people moving amongst them. You were really not expecting this. Norm, probably somebody is, while you're trying to get basically into the trucks, shouting at you, saying, "Hey, buddy, move that thing. Can't you see you're blocking the road? I got 3 trucks to get through here."
Yeah, cool, you jets. I just gotta get this thing into neutral. I can't even remember where they put where's the radio in this?
Do any of you science types know how to drive? Come on, get that thing out the way. We got a schedule to keep to here.
I don't drive, I get driven. Thank you very much. What is your name? Are you here with Star Metal? Could you just give a quick statement before we zoom off?
No, you have to talk to corporate. I can't possibly be on camera.
You were only too willing to talk a minute ago, weren't you? Sticking my head up the sunroof.
We weren't here.
While all this hubbub is going on, Maisie runs to a nearby puddle and just takes out a little test tube and starts scooping up the water for later analysis.
Oh, there she goes.
Do it. Tell her to get back in the car.
I'm coming. This is why we're here.
As soon as you scoop it out, it's got this fascinating phosphorescent glow. There's kind of even the water kind of glimmers in the light. And actually, as you look around, now you're taking a moment to kind of like examine the world around you. You can see that that's the first thing you will notice. A lot of the vegetation, the ground here is covered in this kind of bioluminescent, well, I think you might call it slime. You probably have a more affectionate word for it, Maisie, probably Latin and complicated. But yeah, there's sort of this slimy coating to things and this weird kind of glow.
Wow. A real carbohydrate-based suspension of just biological life. And she scoops a little bit on her finger and just gently tastes it.
No.
Okay.
Maisie, we've talked about this, Maisie.
It tastes quite vinegary, I think. Not entirely unpleasant. Your tongue goes a tiny bit numb, but it seems to recover quite quickly.
Acidic, and returns to the car.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I've just lost a little bit of tongue dexterity, but apart from that, no, I'm really, really good. I think we've made our first discovery.
You sound a bit different, but
no, that's just really just mulling over. I'm just really excited.
Absolutely. None of my business. Ian, is the everything is breathable, right, on this planet, right?
So the area is quite breathable. There is a survey report which you were probably all poring over diligently over breakfast. It did suggest that the only slight problem is that there are some psychoactive compounds, and that prolonged exposure can result in you hallucinating.
I see.
But probably it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely, probably.
I feel like
and occasionally the atmosphere is a bit more dense than ours, so occasionally you get these pockets of oxygen which are highly flammable. So occasionally there's a bit of an issue with sparks. Okay. Probably all fine.
Probably fine.
I do feel like I'm like zipping up in my exploration suit, like just completely head to toe, just like something. Just act like I'm not here, honestly. But it's like been bedecked. It's got like all sorts of accessorizing little like dongles and clips and like some little like rhinestones and bling on it and like stickers and whatever else has been added. Not for function, but obviously for form.
Absolutely. That is the most distracting thing I've ever seen, but I will do my best to act like you are not here. Yes.
Good. All right. Norm?
You ready? Strap in. And I'm gonna spin the car around a couple of times to spray that guy who was talking to us with slime and then set off. That's my intention anyway.
All right. I think you can just do that. So just for the kind of the audience, there's a thing called an assured contest. And an assured contest says if you have an ability to do something, you can probably do it if we think it's just interesting that you do it. Norm does have an ability. If you look at your character sheet, Dom, you should find you have a keyword for Colony Wild Heritage. Do you want to have a look under that and tell me if you've got ability to drive a vehicle?
I do have the keywords drive vehicle, which excellent. I hope fit the bill.
It's absolutely perfect. So I guess as a short contest, you are pretty good at driving a vehicle, and you managed to spray some mud at one of the nearby miners. You hear some curses and perhaps a clatter as something is thrown and bounces off the side of your ATV. And someone probably waving their fist at you in the background as you speed off.
Nice. Great content.
Briefly montage your journey, and then we will get you to a destination where we can have kind of more fun. You head through the twilight marshes. The ground is wet. There are pools of water. Fortunately, the crawler is amphibious, but it is quite a bumpy ride. It wasn't built for comfort, and you bounce around, hanging on to dear life. Norm's quite a good driver, I think. But Norm, are you a careful driver, or are you going for speed?
I think speed.
All right. It's a bumpy ride.
I don't want to waste time on some other backwards planet. Let's just get in, get out.
I
Anyone?
look at Ali. Yeah. Oh God. Oh no.
oh, yeah.
Oh, she's gonna blow. She's gonna blow.
Do our exploration suits have like face coverings?
Yes, you can put a face covering down. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay, cool. I was just like slowly turning into like a paler, grayer version of myself as the ride is going. Um, like, uh, and I like look at whoever's seated behind me for a moment, like with like the
Oh.
look of like our eyes meet moments before I feel like she's completely sick all inside
Oh yeah.
this helmet.
Let's hope
I
it's got
lock
a little
eyes with
windscreen
Lisa.
wiper inside.
Yeah. Little like vacuum, and then I go like shakily to hit this like button on the side that just goes like vacuums it all out.
Oh,
Like if
this has happened before. I see. Oh.
oh yeah, I made sure to get the upgrade after the first few times. Oh,
Um,
whew.
Norm, Ali sicked up. Can you can you slow down a little bit, maybe? Otherwise,
Oh,
she might sick up
no,
again.
there can't be too much left. There can't be too much left.
Oh,
Oh,
probably
Oh,
better we speed up then, so
oh
we're not in here as long,
no.
right?
oh,
You're also trying to look at me, and I'm all over the place because I'm just like, so it's making it definitely worse.
Maisie has an ability called hostile environment survival, so I think I'm fine.
This is a
Yeah,
hostile environment for
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
are
I'm.
used to being also Maisie out of the window is absolutely fascinating. All right.
Ugh.
You can see that you'll get you need to get a bit closer. You're probably, I mean, maybe Norm would stop for you. If you look outside, where we might have trees, it appears there's like these giant sort of mushroom type things. There are
Wow.
ropes of fungus everywhere. There's phosphorescence and bioluminescence everywhere. So even in the sections where it's really quite wooded with mushrooms, it has this fantastic blue and green glow everywhere. It is beautiful outside from
That's
your point of view.
gorgeous. I wonder if these mushrooms are connected to some kind of algae, but no, two different kingdoms. That couldn't be possible. And she's just making a lot of notes, kind of like hanging half out the buggy, like a dog, like, his ears flapping in the wind of a car
I'm
window.
holding onto your waist to like keep you in fully.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Lisa.
I got you.
Science. You reminded me. Just while we're on the way over and away from pioneers, and what do you guys think happened to the last expedition? If you wouldn't mind, yeah, here into the mic, please.
Oh, they probably got eaten by some giant bugs. That's normally what it is.
Oh, and those bugs, I bet they were beautiful, really good bugs. I think that they did, in fact, maybe stumble into some kind of nest, and then the nest, obviously, because they stepped into the territory of the nest dwellers, they were then consumed. But I'm hoping I can prevent that from happening this time.
I mean, look around. This world is so unlike our own. They found something. They're probably here still researching it. And I I need to know what they know. I think and then she just starts
Okay.
hyperventilating.
No, I pull it back.
You want to
in.
stop? Should we stop? I slam the brakes on.
I think everyone's it's slammed to the front.
And again.
Oh no, and you've been pressed into the it's all over your face. Okay. Let's take five. Take five. Yeah, and I agree with Maisie. Definitely either still researching or consumed.
Well, you think they're still here and just haven't been in touch this entire time?
I mean, I'll be honest, if I got lost here and found something even, mildly interesting, I would cut contact with the rest of the world. So
You you would? Wow, that's
yeah.
I didn't realize scientists were quite so dedicated in a singular way.
Oh, scientists are crazy. Trust me, I worked with some scientists. I'm not
You
surprised
worked
in
with
the
some
least.
science?
I've worked with some scientists.
Oh yeah?
I've done this sort of job before. Yeah, they're always pretty kooky. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maisie has a keyword that is core world heritage Trappist, which I'm like assuming is in Trappist monk. So funny enough, when I was finishing my PhD, I went into what I called monk mode, where I would wake up, I would do some light exercise, I would make sure my body was nourished, but the rest was about the scripture. So I think, yeah, she would absolutely go monk mode if she made a discovery here.
That makes
Mm.
sense. I love
Wow.
that.
Fantastic.
Ali, you do notice when people are talking about what did happen to the last expedition, as the crawler is fording through some water, you do see something that looks like a ripple of movement of something large moving through the water.
Oh, hey, what was that? What was that? What was that? I'm gonna turn the camera. Hey, hey, turn your peepers over. Look at that. I ain't no scientist, but water usually it don't move on its own, right?
I fully crawl up the front and I'm like on you if you're okay with that, Josephine. It's like
Yeah.
I'm like press my face against the window. Like, did you see a creature? Did you see a creature?
Okay, maybe don't lick that one.
We'll see. If I have to lick it, I'm gonna have to lick it. You know, you got to lick something. I got to lick something too. I don't understand
I'm so
why we have
glad
to
we've
limit
got the finest minds with us tonight.
it.
Possibly
Yeah,
by the
that's
time the rest
scientists
of you are
for you.
there, it seems to
So,
have vanished. Whatever Ali saw seems to have gone.
I swear I saw. I'm like now concentrating on the camera and kind of like trying to go backwards in the footage, see if I can see it in
My
there.
face is like pressed to your like
Yeah, if you
helmet,
go
just
back on the
like,
cam
did you lie to me?
if you get back on the camera, you can see some kind of movement in the water, but you can't see
Look, see
anything else.
right there, right there. Okay, okay, Norm, just get us to where we're going. I don't like moving stuff. I don't like water. I don't like really where we are right now. If we can get to some dry patch,
Me
I'd be
neither.
more comfortable.
Set
I
off.
slip away.
A
Just
little bit of
gun it.
time passes. It's probably a few hours drive, and eventually you will arrive at what appears to be the old expedition base.
Hours, yeah. Wow. We'll drive each other nuts by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're probably pretty glad to be able to kind of pull up. You can see three large buildings. It's only been a couple of months since contact was lost with the previous expedition, but already it appears the marsh is trying to almost reclaim the buildings. These three large buildings, the outside, it seems to be dripping with some of this kind of bioluminescent slime, and there are these fungal creepers that seem to be crawling up the edges of the walls, and the walls will appear to be quite covered in sort of mildew, I guess is probably the kind of word, as everything seems to be slowly rotting. You can see clearly there are three main buildings. There are signs that really indicate you are in the right place. This is the Oldenburg expedition is technically their name, and you can see various logos and signs kind of around. The three buildings, you've been to enough scientific camps before, you can easily kind of pick out what they are. One, because it's clearly marked with radiation hazard symbols, is a portable atomic reactor, obviously been used for power. Pretty common. This is the future. Everything is atomic, and who doesn't need a portable atomic reactor of their own? The other is essentially looks like an accommodation block. It's a kind of slightly cramped thing, probably at least Maisie and Lisa have slept in on various expeditions and probably look upon with some familiarity and horror, and what looks to be the kind of main admin lab building. So, all right, and there's probably the remains of some kind of road surface that the local vegetation is busy trying to destroy for you to pull up on to Norm. All right,
Uh,
what would you like to do?
Well,
after
I think this is the
you.
place.
Yeah, I think it is too, Norm. Look, I'm just here to observe, so I'm gonna be following behind y'all. Y'all go ahead. Go on, go see if anyone's in there.
Will
okay.
do. Um, Maisie, it's quite peculiar, isn't it, that the planet itself is almost fighting back against this building. You know, it's covering it completely. Norm, you must have seen something like this before as well, right? Surely.
Oh, I seen this 1,000 times.
Okay.
Yeah, abandoned mission, abandoned buildings. Oh, what's got them this time? Have they turned themselves into goop or did something with a load of legs get inside their brains? I can't wait to find out which it is. I
Well,
start
that's
pouring myself some coffee from my flask.
Wait, is your robot with us?
Yeah, he's with us. Berners, where are you? Berners?
I also can't wait to find out what destroyed this building, but perhaps in a different kind of way. You know, that's a beautiful thing about evolution. Everything adapts, everything survives. Well, not everything. That's kind of the key.
Exactly.
Thing.
You have like a little nerdy laugh.
So yeah, Dom,
Okay.
if you at any point want to be, because he's a sidekick, you can just choose to switch and play your robot Berners-Lee instead.
Oh, wow.
Can you tell us
So robots in
like
this setting, classic positronic brain, bipedal, but metal and chromy, and generally your expedition robot is kind of specialized to doing their job, and they obey the three laws of robotics. So they can't harm a human, have to obey instructions from a human, but then can try and preserve themselves. Your expedition robot's job is to kind of like look around, investigate stuff, help you if you get in accidents or trouble. So you can kind of do that, and you can give him a personality of his own if you want to. I mean, robots like this can be things like overprotective and things like that. So,
like a humanoid shape though, so chrome
yeah,
but human. Okay.
Yeah.
I was imagining once again a little guy, like a kind of R2D2 vibe is what I was.
Yeah, like a box.
But he's more of a
no,
C3PO.
much more sort of person-shaped, glowing sort of red eyes where his photoelectric stuff are, but probably a kind of slit for a mouth and a very mechanical, electronic-y voice.
Very good.
Oh, I need to think about,
Yeah,
I
so
think about this.
you gonna I mean, should they go in first?
Oh,
I mean, one of
yeah.
you has got to go in before me. Look, I can't be filming. Look, there's got to be people on this expedition. I can't have my frame empty of people unless one of you is about to become the cameraman.
But you could also go in first and then turn the camera behind and we'll walk behind you. So I'm kidding. No, we'll go. It's fine. And we're going.
Berners, do you want to go into this place for these people? And he comes out and he goes, oh my goodness, look at the mess. And he just starts brushing Norm down, who really hates it. Oh dear, it's this terrible atmosphere. Awful. Leave me alone, would you?
Lovely to see
I love
Get
him.
off me.
Yeah.
Get off me. These people want you to go and get yourself killed in this spider castle or whatever's going to be in there.
All right, I've had it. I'm gonna I like walk out pretty quickly with the intention of going like kind of just around a corner out of sight.
Young madam, be careful, there could be spiders.
I scream, I'm like, ah!
I run to see what is happening, ready to jump into action and save the day. Am I running towards you, Ali, or am I running into the building? Is that what you want?
Yeah, maybe into the building.
Cool. I run into the building head first.
And then I follow quickly behind from my hiding spot.
Berners is probably running with Lisa, trying to convince you that it's too dangerous. You should let him do it.
Someone's in peril, Berners. We have to go.
Maisie's also rushing in with like ready to
the first
grab
law
samples.
says that through an action you shouldn't allow a human to come to harm. So you can interpret that however you want, Berners. Okay, Lisa. You sprint up towards the steps of the admin building, I'm going to guess. All right.
Sure, yeah.
It's got kind of a when you pull open the door, you feel a sort of a little bit of pressure as the air comes out at you, and you probably know that it's pretty common to have kind of like slightly more pressure inside the building to try and keep contaminants, etc., out. And It's warm, and there are lights on inside. When you step over the threshold, you're probably in the kind of what looks like the common area. There are some over to your left. You can see some sofas. It's all probably inflatable furniture, so it packs nice and tight. You can probably see there's some kind of like TV screen on the wall. Underneath, there's some shelves for the tape spools, which are the kind of in this setting the what your entertainment, your movies, and whatever you're going to watch while you're stuck in this science post forever would be located on. You can see probably a little door that's kind of open beyond, looks at the shelves, some kind of room beyond that filled with shelves. You can also see a little bit of a galley in the same area. Looks like there's a kind of typical kitchen, a sink, Insta-wave kind of thing. There is a couple of doors leading off, one off to your right-hand side that appears to go deeper into the building, and one behind that appears to go deeper into the building. There are signs. So the one going behind you, directly ahead of you, says basically admin offices, and the one off to the right says labs, and the door over to the left-hand side says stores. So that seems to be that. You can't see any people, but what you do notice is the place looks as though it was kind of people didn't pack up and leave. There are things scattered around, personal effects. There's some food that appears to have gone moldy on the countertop and kind of spread. Maybe there's even a Kaftab cup sitting on a table where you can see mold swimming on the top of the surface. So it looks kind of hastily abandoned.
Okay. Yeah, seeing that there are no people, I cannot emphasize enough that she kicks down every door that she comes across because she is looking for anyone in peril. But I guess she'll head towards the lab.
Okay, so you're gonna
Okay, yeah. Check that out.
Bam.
Let me know if you see anyone.
Yes, of course.
So
Yeah.
just the rest
Clean
of
up
you
this
are.
mold.
Ali, you're
That's
behind.
right, Berners,
Are
you get
you
on
in
that.
the building and behind?
Yeah. I followed, and as soon as they started running in, I was
Okay.
like, yes, and followed in behind them.
Berners, are you there as well?
Oh yes.
Watching all these humans endanger themselves in
Yes.
ridiculous ways, Berners.
Yes. The mold spores are the current priority, so he's just cleaning he's gathering up all the cups and everything. Oh,
That's what the suits are for. We're good. You just don't touch anything, right? That's the rule. I mean, it looks like people they left like without any preparation. Something must have happened that's real sudden here.
I'm definitely
Well,
not wearing
Maisie,
a suit. I'm wearing my like adventurer garb, like Indiana Jones, but high fashion. So
Amazing.
Cool. Yeah. Maisie?
I think Maisie's just behind Berners-Lee. Like as she sees this robot scooping up all the moldy stuff, she's just desperately trying to like gather little bits of mold. And she's wearing essentially like a boiler suit with probably too many pockets, and she's just stuffing it all in there. There's a system, she knows it, no one else does. But yeah, she
Maisie,
definitely
your nose
also...
is telling you. I mean, even the smell, it's telling you there's rich life being cleared away by burners here that you're very excited
exactly. Yes. And she's also very excited to get to the labs if that's where Lisa's heading. So I think that probably be what ultimately pulls her away from the moldy cups.
Okay. All right. So Lisa, you're coming first and a little bit behind Maisie. So the lab area is just a kind of communal lab. There are tables and workbenches around. There are the typical things that scientists would be using, transcribers to record information. There are scatters of, this is a slide rule era, so the slide rules, and there are probably whiteboards with various scribblings and papers and stuff written on it. It looks a bit chaotic. People have obviously been working here. There are sample dishes and that kind of thing around. It'll take you a little bit of time if you want to kind of poke your way through it. All right. Yeah. So we have a little roll. So what we'll do is most likely you'll easily figure out what's going on here because both of you are scientists. So we're not going to roll to figure out whether you get some clues. What we're going to do is going to roll to see how long it kind of takes you, right, to figure your way through this. So what we can do is one of you, if you look down your character sheets, you can pick an ability, it could just be your science keyword, can probably lead on it. And another person can describe how they help them, and that could be an augment. So
If
either
it's
of you, if you
science
look at character
related,
sheet for a keyword.
I
Yeah,
assume
so
Maisie would be better.
I can lead with either analyze or hypothesize to try and figure out what's going on or what has happened.
That sounds
I also have
absolutely fantastic.
analyze, set, hypothesize, observe, and general scientific knowledge that I can impart to help.
Ooh.
All right. So maybe what we should suggest is that maybe if Lisa starts putting together all the paperwork to hypothesize what may have happened,
Yep, perfect.
and Maisie can help interpret areas outside your specialities, like the geologist. As one of the people here was a geologist, so you can look at the geology reports and read those and figure out what was the geologist on about. Right? Okay.
Perfect.
So do you want to give me a roll then, Lisa, on a d20? So what we'll do is now you can get abilities over 20. So you may find you've got an ability that says something like 5M. So for the M, just think of that as a 20. And how does that work? Well, what we do is where you have an ability over 20, we just give you a free success. And then you roll against the rest. So if your ability was like 26, we take off the 20, give you a success, and you roll against the 6. And that determines how many more successes you're going to get, right?
Gotcha.
Cool.
So is it me rolling or is it Maisie?
It's going to be you rolling, Lisa.
Okay.
So for the augment, you will just get a +5 to your roll. So your number you figure out by going and taking your hypothesize, which I think is a breakout of +5, I believe.
+5,
you add
and
that to
it's
your
underneath 5M for my anthropologist and xenoanthropologist stuff. So it's a success.
25, yeah, and then you add 5 to the 5, which gives you a 10 to roll against. And I'm rolling against a 10, which is the kind of default resistance as well. All right.
Okay.
And then we can see what we get on the dice.
Okay. Doing it.
So I got a 12, which is a fail.
I got a 14.
Okay. Which is a fail for you too. But you have one success. So you have a success on a 14, and I just have a fail on a 12. So that means you do a good job. So I will give you, it doesn't take you long to start to get together some interesting facts, and I'll come back to you. Let's just check in on Ali and Berners and Norm and just see what they're doing while that happens. So you guys, when we left you, were in the rec room. There's also a kind of pantry and an admin block if you want to have a look at those. Any preference to what you want to do?
Yeah, no, Norm, this is strange. It's strange. Looks like everyone just up and disappeared. No notice.
Well, I don't know. Either they might have gone to another dimension. I heard about that. I didn't see it myself, but or they got completely consumed, left no trace, by something huge. I've seen that before. Seen that twice.
Look, could you get Berners? I don't want to touch anything in here. Berners, could you open up the storage compartment, see if they took any of their suits, any equipment, anything?
Oh yes, but please hold your breath in case there are spores.
I got a helmet on. I'm good.
The helmet may be malfunctioning. You don't know. Don't worry about Berners. His circuitry's on a bit on the whack, and he's essentially a hypochondriac now.
Oh, he's got so much anxiety, the poor thing.
He's a terribly anxious android.
Great. Yeah, let's take a look in there. Yeah. Berners, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You're not like us. You're stronger than us. Just go on ahead and open that door.
I'm going to stand in front of the door as I open it, so that if anything bursts out, it will destroy me first. Hopefully, giving you enough time
I need a good angle. I need Berners. Look at me. I need a good angle. So if you could just cheat out a little bit.
I don't understand what you're asking me to do, madam. Are you asking me to put you in danger? I can't do that. I have to destroy myself first.
I would listen. Look, Berners, look at me. I will never risk my own life. Okay?
Oh, that's a great relief to me, madam.
Okay. You can trust me on that. I'm going to position myself in a safe place, but I want the camera to capture what's inside. Okay? So I'm just going to set it right here. You need to cheat out a little bit. Look, I'm going to move over here to the right.
He awkwardly postures himself.
Okay.
Are you ready for me to fling open the door and be destroyed by whatever's within?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Norm, are you ready?
Oh, jeez. Just open the door, Burners. He opens it. Dramatically.
Berners opens the door. Inside, there are shelves packed with items. Looks like effectively, the kind of thing you would imagine: supplies, a lot of it, consumables for a long period of expedition, food, drink mixes, some medical supplies, probably cleaning supplies, that kind of thing, etc. It looks, some of the things look half open. Packets have been got into. Generally, what you probably expect from a crew. Berners is probably quite offended by how poor their housekeeping seems to have been.
Yeah, are there any particular meds that are missing more than others?
Okay.
I'll
Do
use
you
my
have
investigative.
either of you an investigative or observancy skill of some sort on your sheet that you'd like to
Yes, I
suggest?
have deduction, observant, got a hunch,
All right. Okay. So I'll give you
investigative
for got a
journals.
hunch. We'll give you something. You look around. It'll probably take you a little bit to um. What's there's a peculiar thing, right? It just seems strange. The shelves all have kind of labels, and everything seems pretty normal. What's been going on? For some reason, there are some shelves that appear to contain pickled pickles. So there's a shelf it should have kimchi, sauerkraut, some pickled gherkins, those kind of things. Those shelves are completely empty, as though
Huh.
somehow someone had some massive party and decided to eat all the pickles and all of the sauerkraut and the kimchi. It's
That's
just slightly odd, and you've got a hunch, Tingles, that this is odd.
that's strange. That's strange.
Madam, I'm
Norma,
noticing a heightened level of stress from your body. Is everything all right?
I no. I'm not stressed. I'm just confused. I mean, like, yeah, I love a pickle as
Starts
much as the
massaging
next
you.
guy. Oh, okay, this is a nice feature.
Stress will kill you, madam.
Just yeah. Just keep going as I'm thinking. This is good. I like a good pickle as much as the next, but like the they're all gone. Every single one. That's a mass amount of pickle for what, an entire expedition site.
I don't think
Norm,
it's that healthy to eat everything in moderation, madam. I think that
right,
many
Berners.
pickles
You
can't
are
be good
so
for you.
right. Oh man, well, maybe there's like electrolyte deficiency happening in the people here, or or something, or we got a beastie with a tasty for pickled items.
I
Watch out.
think it was a big party. Maybe they discovered something they were all real pleased about, like a new kind of rock. And
A
then they
party
had
you think?
a big party. They all had too much to drink. The next morning, they're hanging out of their trousers, so they eat all the pickles. Electrolytes, like you say. I think that's what it is. I've seen this before 30,
I feel
40
like
times.
Maisie and Lisa have
Hey,
been there.
it just seems off. It just seems off. They had stuff for like months supplies, right? Okay. All right. I'm making a note of it. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there, all right? What else we got here? Go back to
I'm gonna
scanning the room.
Okay. Let's cut back to Lisa and Maisie. All right. So you've assembled your way through various notes of things that they were looking at. What are the kind of highlights? One of the first highlights is that they found nearby. It's probably half an hour, 45 minutes away. A thing they call the singing stones. So it appears to be a set of crystalline rock structures that react to the electromagnetic disturbances in the atmosphere and sing when they do that. You notice that Wilson appears to have made a whole load of analysis around whether these things originate there, don't originate there. he appears to have some scribbles. So Wilson is a geologist whose notes appear to be on there. You also know some scribbles from a xenobiologist on the mission, Louise Howell, and her notes. She scribbles all over it. These things didn't just grow there, Tom. Someone put them there, and they appear to be having some kind of argument. The other thing you notice, there's some video footage and some notes about it and specific times on the recordings. And when you look through those video recordings, it appears to be CCTV footage of the interior of this building, and particularly it's looking towards the stores area. And occasionally it's difficult, but you see something shadowy that seems to move. And you see the notes saying, you know, like things like 3 minutes 33, I can definitely see movement effectively on the notes. It's unclear. Because at other times, someone else has Tom has written underneath, no, that's just electromagnetic disturbance. It's just a blip it's just static on the image. So again, there appears to be a bit of a discussion between Tom and Louise over whether these things are real. When you look at them, you're uncertain. The pictures are a bit grainy, but occasionally it looks like a thing is moving in the shadows, but unclear. Whatever it is not clearly picked out.
Maisie,
on the camera.
This might just be me, but is that a shadow creature that loves pickles?
I think I've never heard of anything evolving from shadows before. This is just completely outside of my realm.
Okay.
No,
it's okay. Take your time. Go to your mind palace. Get in there.
Right. They didn't just grow here. Is she talking about the mushrooms or the creatures or the stones?
The stones. So these strange crystalline stones. There's some pictures of them. They appear to be arranged. I mean, you and I might think they look a bit like a henge, but Wilson says no. It's just a natural. These things are growing naturally here. The structure appears to be somehow interacting with crystal formation in the electromagnetic atmosphere. You've got some long, complicated geological explanation of why they're there.
Is it nearby?
But Louise is looking at it saying, no, these have been arranged into some kind of henge.
Yeah,
this is deliberate placement, and there appears to be quite a dispute in the notes you can find lying around.
Okay. Is the henge nearby?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes away. Not far.
Cool. Okay, good to know. Maybe we should explore.
The only other thing you find is there's probably there's a few transcripts of various video calls, and you can kind of look through because there appears to be a logged sequence of complaints, and the complaints are being made to Star Metals by the expedition crew here. And they've been speaking to someone at Star Metals called Jared Knox, who seems to be the commander of Star Metals. And it's a constant set of complaints saying things like, some of your prospectors were up on the North Ridge. You know that you're not allowed into that area. We're still performing the survey. You'll contaminate everything. Please keep your people. The only thing you're allowed to be doing is preparing an advanced base. And then, like day after that, again, we saw more of your people again, these continuous violations, but they appear to have kept a log of continuous violations by these people. An occasional scribbled note saying, we should call the patrol. This is just frustrating. We can't do science with these people stomping all over it.
So whatever they've discovered is in this north area. So we need to go there. And is that where the henge is as well?
That is where the henge is, yeah.
Well, that's
perfect.
Ali, this seems like something you'd be interested in.
Oh, yeah. What'd you find? And I'm just like scanning the camera over all the documents and things and whatever you've brought out.
I'm trying to hold it in front of you, but you keep moving, so I move with you.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Oh, love it. Perfect.
So there's a henge we need to go to. Some people think that they have been placed. Some people think that they have been grown. So that's good. And then the North Ridge, I think we have to go to as well, Maisie.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa, I'd really like to thank you for assisting me in these minor discoveries.
Of course.
I couldn't have done it without, well, maybe, no, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
I see. Of course, that's fine. I'm confused. Do you want me to not take credit? Is that fine? I can.
No, 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 no,
Mhm.
no, no, no. We
Okay,
did
great.
this together by you assisting me to do it.
Yes, I assisted you. Absolutely, yes. I'm confused by this interaction, but I shake your hand.
Thank you.
It's very good.
Norm,
Hmm.
you're probably still in the main rec area. This weird, uncanny feeling, like someone is standing behind you.
Oh, that's weird. I turn around and have a look.
You
Hello?
can't see anything, but you
Oh,
but you
just
had
being
that weird
clear.
feeling.
Hey, Burners. Run your sensors over this place. Is anyone else in this room, or is anyone else besides us here? He does have sensors. I don't know if he can use them.
Yeah, you can definitely have a roll for Bernard sensors. All right.
Oh, great.
Okay. So, just to remind you how we're going to make a roll. So, Bernard is a sidekick for you. So, if you look down your character sheet, you'll find he probably has a. I haven't written that on. Sorry about that. That's my bad. His robot keyword would be 5M, so 25. So you get a success and a 5, and he's got sensors at +5. So you get that's a breakout. So you're going to get a +5 on that. So you can roll against a 10. And you get an automatic success. The resistance from me is going to be a 15, so I'm rolling against a 15.
Okay.
So I roll a 6, which is a success on a 6.
Unbelievably, I've rolled a 2.
Okay.
Oh,
So you have a success, but you get a second success because you're rolling under 10. So you have 2 successes against my 1 success, which means basically that that's a good for you. So Bernard will say to you, Bernard will definitely say, I picked up something in the room. In fact, Bernard, you definitely, your sensors indicate that there was some sort of bipedal life form in the room. It didn't alarm Bernard initially because now he's reviewing it. It was a lot of static and everything else. But there does seem to be evidence there was something here from when Bernard kind of plays back his senses.
So yeah, he said he played 2 characters now. He says, I think there was someone here. It could be an assailant. They may have had some sort of cloaking device. We should tell the science team. And Norm's like, all right, let's go tell them. We found some spooky new thing. And we go through to the other room. Berners comes in and says, "Oh, Madam Scientists, Norm had a strange feeling in the other room, and it seems there's some sort of electrostatic evidence that there was a bipedal life form in the room with us, but it bore no corporeal form."
just to double check. Last time Norm had a strange feeling, it was gas. It's not that, is it?
No. No, it's a status. My sensors picked up something, not a gas.
Not gas.
I don't think.
So certainly, Elisa, you are aware that from the survey report that people have reported seeing things, feeling basically that they were being watched and that kind of thing. Most of the survey report ascribes it to the psychoactive elements in the atmosphere, and people are just hallucinating. There's also a little moth creature that apparently is on one of the survey reports that also, when it blinks its little sort of like a bioluminescence too fast, can get people to go a bit trancy. So it's all sorts of weird stuff does seem to happen here apparently.
Okay.
Looking around the lab, can I see any equipment that might, in addition to Berners-Lee's sensors, might help us keep an eye out on them? Because if they're always gone when we turn over the shoulder, it might be handy to know when they're approaching.
Why don't you give me a roll? Let's see if we can track anything down.
Wait, so you're saying there's
Try.
some invisible other thing in here?
Shadow
I
thing?
think when you take a scientific approach, something that seems like magic can just be science we don't understand yet. So
And
the
it might be trying
correct
to
thing,
kill us.
and it might be trying. Yes. So the best thing to do is to keep our scientific minds steady and stable and open.
I'll take out a
Um,
stun gun.
Mind.
So.
Open the mind case.
I love that. Can I use xenobiologist? I've got a 5M on that already.
You can.
And then
you also
a
have
little thing.
an ability, a breakout under there, which you might
Yes,
find quite interesting.
operates lab equipment like an
Like an
extension of
extension.
herself.
I think that may be very appropriate. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that's a +5 onto your 5M. So that's a
Cool.
+5 to the 5, gives you a 10 to roll against, and you get an automatic success. And I will roll
Cool.
against a resistance of 15. All right. All right.
I got a 6.
All right. So I got a 14. That's okay. I get a success. You've already got a success. You get a 6, right? And I get a 14. What that means is, because we both have one success, I get the higher roll, which is better. So you don't succeed. Now, technically, what happens, because this is a short game, just explain the rule. There's no point in you tracking it. You would normally, when you fail a roll, get an experience point, but we won't worry about it in this session. So you look around. So there's definitely, I think you would discover that there's definitely some notes you find from Louise saying, "I'm determined to see if these images are something on the CCTV." And there's a list of things she's been trying. And she's probably the hint is she suspects that it may be that it's clouding the mind, and other forms of recording could show something up. And she appears to have bits of kit scattered around as though she was trying to build something, but it's just not finished. You might be able to put something together, but it would take you some time.
I would like to try if possible, but I also really want to get to that North Ridge. How much time would it take? I suppose I'd have to roll for that, right?
Yeah, that's basically it. We'd figure out with a roll, how long is it going to take you to put something together that you think might be able to track these things.
All right.
If you succeeded in the first roll, we'd have found what I'd have probably said, okay, you find one. But otherwise it's going to be time. It's going to be a factor. There's also, by the way, don't forget, an admin room you haven't checked out yet.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right.
Maybe if you guys want to go check the admin room, I'll try and jimmy something together so we can be one step ahead of these undetermined things.
Yeah, let's split up. Great.
So what we'll do is we'll let them do something, and then we'll come back and we'll give you a chance to roll to see if you've managed to accomplish something in the time frame. All right?
Cool. Perfect.
Would it be better if I say to assist, because I've got jury rig as one of my
things, certainly do that. She could certainly have an augment from you for jury rig. For absolutely. Yeah. All right.
Right. We'll stay here again, and then you two tell us what's going on.
Okay, good luck with the science, and we'll go see if we can get some answers in that admin room.
Right.
All right, let's do it.
Norm, burners, after use.
After me, please. If something leaps out and destroys us. Oh, my internet's gone funny. If something leaps out and destroys us, it should destroy me first.
Agreed. Well, yeah, we're in agreement. Go ahead.
All right. And he goes through to the admin room.
All right, Berners, do you want to give me a kind of census roll?
Uh-oh.
So again, sorry, I apologize. I didn't write down your character sheet, but your robot 5M plus your sensors at +5. So rolling gets a 10, and you have a success already. All right.
17.
So it's going to be 15.
Since all this talk, in case you missed, I have taken out the stun gun in the other hand.
All right, I roll a 15, which means I get a big success. So I get 2 successes. What about you, Dom?
I got a 17.
Okay, so you were rolling against a 10, so that is not a success. You have one success already, at a 17. But because I get two successes, Berners is definitely picking up a lot of static. And in fact, Berners begins to sense that there may be one of these electrical storms moving in. And you can see in various places around the room kind of this almost like a St. Elmo's fire rippling across surfaces as this electric activity builds up. And Berners it's clouding your senses. All this electric activity, it's kind of like there's just too much going on. So you kind of have to switch to just using your eyes. So all your other senses are kind of like really, really blotted out right now. All right.
There's a lot of
Otherwise,
electromagnetic activity in the room.
Yeah, but the rest of you will see this as well. Even in the labs, there's some sort of electrical storm happening, and everything is kind of like glowing oddly. You probably have to kind of like find one of those pads to kind of put your equipment on so that it grounds it in the lab. I can't remember what they're called. They've got a fancy name, haven't they? But yeah. So, all right. But Ali, Norman, Berners, you see ahead of your room, it's got some desks, some chairs. It looks like it was used by whoever was running the thing as an office. What you probably would be drawn towards is one of the big desks has what we would call a kind of Memex. So that's basically got these effectively equivalent of a personal computer, right? Some screens to read from, tapes full scattered around. Looks as though this is where people were recording a lot of information, kind of logs and that kind of thing.
All right. Let's just let me just rifle through. Are they like titled in any way?
So the way this will work effectively is you can get one of the screens and it tells you, it's got an inventory of what all the items are, and you can follow links to look at things. Yeah.
I'd like to pick out, from amongst, there's probably a ton here, anything that seems like it would be the most useful that I could deduct as such and then hit play on it.
Okay. All right. Do you want to give me a roll? Again, probably your investigative journalist is perfect. You can pick one of your breakouts for that.
Yeah, so I've got investigative journalist and the breakout, maybe deduction.
Okay, so that's going to be a 10. Norm, are you able to help in any way, do you think?
I mean, I've got a breakout of Jack of all trades.
All right.
I don't know if there's anything better.
Yeah, so probably
my
you're
best
able
thing.
to help figure out where the various tapes may have been kept, how to turn the machine on. You may be very familiar. The captain's probably got one of these aboard your ship. So you probably know pretty much how it works. So you're probably able to give Ali some direction and help her out. So you can get a +5 for that. Okay. So I think, Ali, that's going to put you on. So you got a 5M, so you get basically a success. You got a 5. You wanted to use your deduction. That's 10.
Can I use more than one keyword, or do you just get to use one?
Good question. You can, but that just counts as an augment. And so we've already got an augment from Norm. Okay. It just adds color, doesn't give you anything else. If you were acting on your own, that might come into it. Yeah. So that gives you 10 plus another 5 from Norm, 15. So you got one success, you're running against a 15. All right. And I'm just going to run against a 15. So you should succeed, we hope. All right. So I roll a 6, so I get a success and a 6.
And I rolled a 16.
That's okay. That's okay. You've got a success already, so have I. And although you don't get another success, the higher roll wins.
Oh.
So you're okay. Yeah.
There we go.
But, so there's a thing called effectively what we call a 0-degree success. So when effectively you win on a higher roll, we may decide there is a cost or a price to what is happening. All right. So I will drop that in a second. Okay. You find the log of the expedition, and there's quite a lot there, but you're probably pretty used to, Ali. I don't want to cast aspersions on your character as a journalist, but rapidly having to read through documents before somebody comes into the room and discovers you're where you shouldn't be or whatever. So you're pretty good at scanning through stuff. All right, so I'm going to give you a view of some interesting log entries that you find. So there's one dated, and this is about sort of a couple of months ago, by the captain, well, the commander of the expedition, rather, Evan Wu. Routine operations continue, electrical interference causing a sort of trouble. Wilson, that's geologist, says it's due to the erratic magnetosphere. Howell, from the other room, that is the xenobiologist. It's just there's something more to it. Also, someone keeps stealing the food from the stores. 2 full jars of sauerkraut are missing. I don't want to start a witch hunt, but if this is boredom-driven hoarding, it must stop before it generates conflict. There's a video recording. It says underneath Dr. Kwame Okoto, mission medic. So tall, lean man in his late 40s. Kwame's got closely cropped hair and a kind of air of calm about him. He sits basically at his desk and he's looking a bit stressed. I've got half the team reporting headaches, dizziness, and this pervasive feeling of unease, of being watched. I suspect it's just the organic aerosols that are subtly psychoactive. Future expeditions will have to watch for the feelings of kind of paranoia that this is inducing. Louise Howell is continually complaining that we are being watched. I've given her a mild sedative. She's complained about being asked to take it. Then you see a video which is tagged as Louise Howell. She's a woman in her late 30s with auburn hair in a braid. She's drumming her fingers. We found something, a cluster of the so-called singing stones deep in the marsh, arranged in a way that doesn't look natural to me. Large, upright formations, like a ritual site. Wilson disagrees, says it's a natural formation shaped by electromagnetic forces. I say that's bullshit. Someone put them there. I stood in the center of the ring and I felt like something was sifting through my thoughts. I'm not alone, and I'm sure of it. Then there's basically another video. There's someone you haven't heard from before, Dr. Mark Johnson, it says, xenobiologist. Recovered remains of predated glass eels near the marsh perimeter. Bite wounds strange, almost surgical. No signs of scavenger activity. Something killed, fed, and left. We've catalogued most of the major predators, but we're missing something. Apex hunters don't just disappear. What's taking them? Then there's another video. It's got Louise Howell and Mark Johnson in it, basically. Louise basically says, that right there, you see that just before the static hits, that's movement, upright, bipedal. That's not an animal, Mark Johnson's saying. You're seeing what you want to see, Louise. It's shadows, flickering lights in the marsh. The frog plays tricks. Kwame's been telling us the atmosphere is messing with our heads. And Louise is saying, I know what I saw, and I'm not the only one feeling it. Mark says, look, I respect your instincts, but we are scientists. There must be evidence. Let's not jump to conclusions. Where are the signs? Where are the tools? Where are the structures? We'd have seen something by now. And he sort of walks off, and Louise basically says, maybe they're just better at hiding than you think. Then basically you see the commander, Evan Wu. He's a Chinese man of middle age. He's looking tired. The thefts are getting worse. Seems that someone has got some craving for all the pickled vegetables. Everyone denies it. This is not funny anymore. This is a serious issue of discipline. Then you've got another shot of Kwame Koto, the medic, saying, I heard footsteps last night when I was heading to the med bay. I'm not losing my mind. I went back looking. I was sure I saw wet footprints coming from the bathroom and some kind of faint bioluminescence registry. I'm fouling this, but I doubt anyone will believe it.
Oh, this is a gold mine.
Then you see basically a picture of Wu, the commander. He looks pale. He's saying, we lost Howell and Johnson. They went out just before the storm, tracking something near the stones. Their locator beacons of their suits are still active, but they're not responding to comms. Wilson and I are going out after them. And then you see a final video, and it's Kwame, and he's saying, everyone is gone. They went out to the stones looking for each other. Nobody's come back. The locator beacons are still pinging from the standing stones, but the storm's interference is making contact impossible. I've waited as long as possible, but I feel bad about this. I'm suiting out up and heading out. I can't just sit here and do nothing. If this is the last log I make, tell my family I did my best.
Norm's in the room with me too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Norm, are you able to wipe, Burner's memories at all?
Oh, yeah, you get a powerful enough magnet next to his brain, he'll forget everything.
I just mean, could you? I don't know if it's. I'm gonna say it quietly. I don't know if it's in our best interest. He's gonna stop us from doing any more and investigating. You know what I mean? If he really thinks that there's a threat here, you think maybe we can just wipe what he just heard?
That might be a bit tricky. I heard everything, madam. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. Well, Burners. I mean, we got to get to the bottom of this, Burners. That's just how it is.
Well, if humans are in danger at the standing stones, then we must go and save them. But if you go and save them, you might be in danger at the standing stones. So I should stop you from going. But you might. Then we're not protecting people who might still be alive at the standing stones. So then I should go to the standing stones, but then you will be here unprotected by me. So then I should stay here with you and stop you from going to the standing stones. Maybe we should all go to the standing stones.
Yeah. And Burners, you understand anxiety, right? You understand like that fear and that is sometimes, more of a hindrance than a help, right? Having that knowledge can sometimes be a burden.
I don't experience anxiety in the same way you do, madam. You have
Okay,
a
but you understand
complex.
that as a concept, right?
Conceptually, yes.
Right. So maybe we don't let the scientists know quite how dangerous where we're going might be.
So
Just so
what
that
you're
they go
asking?
with some ease, into the situation, so that they're not fearful for their life, so that they're on their A game.
Yes. Then they are like the zebra are being hunted by a predator because the zebra is completely calm until it is in a state of heightened anxiety when it sees the predator. And then it leaps into action because it hasn't expended any unnecessary energy beforehand. So then it is more
Exactly.
likely to survive. I like your logic, madam, and
Exactly.
I agree with it.
There we go. All right. Norm, you know what I'm saying, right?
I haven't got a clue what any of you are saying. Why, you want to go and
Okay.
look at these
Well,
stones where everyone got killed? Presumably.
yeah. But look, we don't need to tell the science folks that they'll get the jitters and they'll just, it'll impede their brains working so great.
Yeah, right. I'm sure it'll really impede them from licking whatever stones we find up there.
So
Okay.
Ali and Norm, uh,
Hmm.
you suddenly get a feeling.
Uh-oh.
Norm, it's the feeling you had before,
God.
like there's something behind you.
I'm gonna
Berners, you're still clouded by the storm that appears to be rippling still through the place.
I'm
I
gonna turn.
grab your arm and go, I got that feeling again. Like
Yeah,
someone
I
else
got
is
it
here.
too.
Feel that?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's creepy.
whip us around. But if you're holding on to me, I'm gonna whip us both
Whoa.
around, and I'm gonna have the stun gun out, just kind of like like in a sort of waving
Okay.
pattern around us.
All right. So the way the stun guns work is basically fires a laser ionizes the air and electricity kind of leaps out
Yeah.
from from your thing. Why don't we have a roll? Let's give it a roll for your. So do you have? Let's see.
It's just
Investigate.
it's just stun gun is in there.
Yeah, it should be +5 on that. So yeah, there's a
Oh, it
mistake on
should.
that part
Okay.
because yeah. So you can roll against a 10. All right. I'm going to count. So I've got basically a master as well for this. I'm going to have a 5 mastery resistance. So we both got one success, and we're rolling against a 10 and a 5, right?
13 on my end.
Okay. So I roll a 3, which means I get another success, okay. So I think what happens is you fire your stun gun, but the electrical energy of the storm means that your shot seems to go haywire. You're pointing in a given direction, but the beam seems to shoot off like it's being drawn off by a magnet and play around the corner of the room. And you're not, whatever you're pointing at, it's just not hitting, right? And when you take the thing off, there is probably a bit of smoke in the room for where your electrical current has played all over the side of the room. The smell of, and the feeling is kind of left you. But when you look down at the floor, you can certainly see in this kind of mildew what look to you to be like footprints. There is definitely some evidence of something that isn't yours, like fresh footprints.
I don't like it. I don't like it. How close did they get to us?
Feet, you'd have thought. Probably Maisie and Lisa, you will hear the sound of somebody shouting and firing their stun gun, which I'm sure makes quite a loud crack when it goes off.
I'll take out my lightning gun and run towards the source of the noise. We're coming! We're on the way!
Well, we're all good. We're all good.
Oh, okay. I've just got a tranquilizer, which might not do anything, but I'll hang on to it anyway. It's on my hip now.
Yeah, your tranquilizer is pretty much the same thing. It'll just knock something out.
Okay, cool.
You're more. Yours is probably more useful for bringing down big animals as well, sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. By the time you get there, probably the feeling has left, and probably the storm is starting to kind of calm down a bit now.
Going on.
There are probably a couple of things you could look at. You might be able to find. There might be some CCTV covering the room. You could probably find an image. The other thing is we should probably have a roll, Maisie, to see whether you've managed to construct a device.
Yeah, I'll roll with my xenobiologist 5M, and then the operates lab equipment like an extension of herself, +5.
Okay, that gives you a 10, and you get a +5 from. In fact, I might give you a +10 because jury rig is really appropriate. So you get a +10 for that. So does that put you up to 20? I think. Then.
Yeah.
So it's 20 and a success. So you're rolling against 20, you'll probably succeed.
Well, I got a 16, so
excellent. And I'm rolling against probably just 15. All right. So I succeed in a 5, but you already have you get 2 successes. So you managed to rig up. You get a camera and a little kind of stalk, and you build something that kind of adjusts the camera to be able to cope with screening out any electrical activity. And you suspect you would be able to, if something was effectively screening itself somehow with electrical energy, that this would effectively pick them up and you better see them.
Okay. And do Lisa and I know about the pickles?
Yeah,
the
I imagine
pickle.
Yeah.
Then I think at this stage, Maisie goes, the difference between water and something you want to use for pickling is free hydrogen. Ions. There are ions everywhere. The water, when I licked it, it was acidic. This thing, whatever it is, I didn't tell you that before, but it's true. Whatever this thing is, it's playing with electricity. It might not be made of electricity, but it's playing with it, and it's playing with us. And this thing is going to help us see it.
I am in the doorway panting because I heard you start to talk and I ran back. Okay, yeah, gotcha. So what are we? So it's acidic. So I missed a lot of it. I'm it's okay.
Can I hypothesize half in character, half out of character? That this thing is dousing itself in pickle juice to conduct electricity to use as some kind of shield.
Oh, She's so smart.
Rachel, you're so
So
smart.
Maisie maxing right now. Okay, that's what
Yes.
Maisie thinks.
All right.
Do we like maybe like convene in the middle recruit like we both come out of
Yeah,
our
let's convene.
Yeah. The
All
rec room's right in the
right.
middle of you. Yeah.
Did you make it? Were you able to
We got it.
do it?
This
Yep.
camera should show us whatever has been stalking us and plaguing this planet.
Okay.
So
Great, because I swear it was just in the room with us, but don't worry, because you know that I don't feel like it's with us anymore, right, Norm? I must have got it.
Yeah, maybe. I, I don't know. I just
I
think,
think I scared it off, you know.
good, good.
maybe,
Yes.
or it might have
Yeah.
gone to regroup. Sometimes these things, you scare them once and then they come back with more, or they watch you for a long time so they can learn how to kill you. I've seen a lot of this.
Right.
True. So true.
Hey, we looked at some logs in there, and it seems clear that they were really researching that like henge, like that structure, the
Yeah.
rock structure. So, you guys
gotta
said you
go there.
wanted to go check it out, right?
Oh, for sure. I want
Absolutely.
nothing
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than to go to the hench. Yep.
Great.
Can I
Let's
take
do
the
that. Yeah.
Jeez.
yeah. Can I quickly take the device and do like a scan of just the places where the thing has appeared and just see if I can find any trace before we go?
Yeah. So the device would show up one if it was actually there, but it doesn't really pick up any particular
Okay.
kind of after trace. But yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
there's nothing around you at the moment.
Sick.
Right.
All right, let's go to the
So in
hench,
the
shall
interest
we?
of time, what I might do is, if you're okay with that, should we cut to you arriving at the Singing Stones?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
sure. I'm sure that Norm's driving is as good as it was before, but let's and the alley is suitably uncomfortable. But let's cut
Yeah.
to the Stones. All right.
I think
Okay.
when we arrive, Maisie might say to Ali, look, this thing, it's a camera, and you're a journalist. And if there is something here, then I want to make sure it looks good. And you probably want to make sure it looks good. So maybe you take the device.
Oh yeah. I never miss a moment. I would be
Excellent.
honored
I bequeath
to
it to
take
you.
that device. I have like I guess a camera on like each shoulder.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is how you were meant to look.
Madam Scientists, please be very careful. It could be a dangerous situation, but also assume it isn't dangerous so that you're feeling very reflexive if it does become dangerous. Relax.
What are you saying to me, Bernice? What are you saying to us? What is happening?
Relax.
Okay,
Be
I'm fairly
natural.
relaxed, but it could be
But watch
dangerous.
out, because it
But
could
watch
be
out.
dangerous at any time.
Okay.
But it's not
So-
right now, so we should all relax.
I am gonna
Relax,
stay.
eyes wide.
Oh, do you know what? Could I climb on top of the vehicle to get like a sort of vantage point on everything here and just kind of
Yeah.
watch from there?
There's a ladder, and you can probably a little space where traditionally you might set up your camera to kind of film from. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do that. I'll get on top of the vehicle. All right. Everything's rolling. Go do that science. Figure out what happened.
Okay. So you can see around you there are a henge of these stones. They are crystalline growths that essentially are in very kind of weird angles and patterns. There's probably 20 or 30 of them, and they enclose quite a large space. You immediately, when you arrive, as you can see electrical activity building up again, you can sense this notion of singing. That the stones seem to effectively react to the electricity. You can hear a kind of noise in your head, a buzzing. Um, uh, Berners, his robot senses will begin to be, it's a whole symphony of electrical activity bouncing between these stones from Berners' point of view. Human beings are only getting like the edges of what's going on. The stones light up and move, etc., around. It is a phenomenal sort of display. I don't think particularly you want to do.
Are we at the stones? Can I
Yeah. We cut to you
take
being at the stones. Ali's filming you all while you stand looking at this stone circle.
could I try and chip just a very small amount of the stone into a little vial that has some pH indicator.
All right. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you can get a little geology hammer or whatever effectively and start chipping away to kind of test some of this crystalline structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When Maisie is tapping away at the rock, you all feel a sense that something is you feel the sense of presence. Something is around you.
Can I see anything on the camera? I'm scanning all around each of them. I do a quick around myself, but mainly
Okay.
focusing on them.
Yeah, actually, when you look through the camera, not when you look through your eyes, you can just see them. When you look through the camera, you can see figures, probably two or three of them moving in. They appear to be
Oh,
heading particularly towards Maisie. I will describe them to you. Just give me 1 second.
oh,
Stands no
plural.
taller than a human, but its limbs are long and sinewy, folding in a low cracked stance. Its skin glistens, slick and dappled in shades of indigo and green. Its surface subtly shifting as though it is drinking in the light. Faint bioluminescent lines pulse on its skin in slow rhythmic waves. Its head is wide and smooth, with no visible nose, just a broad, expressive mouth and two large, black, glassy eyes. Membranous fills line its throat and sides of its head. They appear to have tools in their hands. Looks like some sort of stone tomahawk or the like. And they are definitely heading towards Maisie and Maisie chipping away at the stones.
Okay. I watch for a bit until they're about maybe 10 feet from Maisie, and then I'm like, watch out, they're right behind you. Maisie, oh, turn around, turn around.
I whip around. I got my tranquilizer from my hip. I'm just swinging it. I don't know if it's going
All
to
right.
connect.
You've probably got your camera detector on one hand and your tranquilizer in the other. All right. So we know what Maisie's going to do. She's going to whip around and try and shoot the trank. What are the rest of you going to do?
Lightning gun.
Yeah, I think I yell out like, you said there were about three of them, or
Yeah, three of them. So
yeah, I said there's three of them heading to Maisie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I take out the lightning gun and I stop. I don't want to say blasting, but kind of blasting. Yeah, I think I'm.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Berners
Norman,
wastes no time. He's going to charge in there. I'll rescue you. Let them
Okay.
take
Not
me.
if I rescue them first.
Berners is going to try and impose his metal form in between. All right.
I'm just gonna stick to the camera because I want to see what it looks like when these shots go by. Like how they react.
This is great footage, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're definitely this is going to be a top-rated show, all right?
Oh yeah. And my flaw is attention seeking, so I'm really just gonna stay here for what's gonna make the best. What I'm gonna get awards for.
All right. So we're going to do a little thing because you're all going to act individually. We're going to do a little thing called a group contest. So just the same as you've done before. But what we'll do is we kind of total up the number of successes for each side. What happens is we decide who has initiative, and you kind of keep it until you lose it. So I'm gonna because Ali managed to give her a warning. I'm going to give Maisie the initiative because she said she was spinning around. So we're going to start with Maisie. All right. So Maisie, what we need you to give us a roll to see whether you can, tranquilize one of these things before it can whack you around the head. Obviously, it just sort of out of character, it wants to whack you around the head because you've been picking away at its sacred stones with your geology hammer.
Oops. I would like to roll xenobiologist hostile environment survival.
Okay, that sounds really good. Yeah, let's do that.
Can my warning be any sort of assist to that? To Maisie?
Yeah, all right. You can have a +5, Maisie, for the shouted warning that you were. It might have been a bit bigger if someone hadn't waited until the shot was on camera.
Fair.
But what can you do?
Okay.
Gotta get
All
my
right,
shot.
so that gives you +10 to your 5. That's be a 15 you're rolling against with a success. All right, and I think they're just going to be on a 15, so you should be okay.
I got an
Okay.
8.
Excellent. So that's a success.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get 2 successes. I actually get a 19, which is a fail for me. So you can describe, if you like, this tranquilizer dart striking one of these frog people is probably the easiest word to describe that. Do you want to have a
Nice.
stab at that, Maze? Would you
So
want to
I
describe what
think,
happens?
yeah, as she swings by, although she can't see it, she gets one of them kind of right in the torso, and you see its eyes just kind of bulge a little bit and then retract as it realizes it's been struck. I'll
Okay.
leave it there.
Yeah, excellent. It will probably sort of, as it's always wander around a bit, sort of slump back. Okay,
Do
so
we
you
hear it
got
when it hits the ground?
when basically it the dart strikes it and its eyes roll back, it appears to everybody. So suddenly it is now visible as it basically falls.
Oh,
I
nice.
scream.
I see it appear and I'm like, oh, hell yes. And
There's
I'm
two
running
more. There's
towards
two
that.
more.
Norm rolls
Whoa!
his eyes.
So
Frog
you
people.
you keep the initiative.
Classic.
So Liv was going to play with Liv's lightning gun. All right,
Mhm.
Liv, electrical energy. It's a stun gun basically. Will play over them.
Mhm.
Well, so you need to give me a roll.
Absolutely. I have daring and quick reflexes. I feel like that maybe plays in, perhaps.
I think that is absolutely perfect. You can have one of those. I think your quick reflexes sounds like that would be what you augment with. And you probably just need to give me, yeah, you don't have a stun gun sort of ability. So why don't you probably just use your quick reflexes and augment with your daring? So we give you 15 plus 5 for your daring. You roll against a 20.
Yep.
And I'll roll against the 15. Let's see how we do.
All right.
Okay.
This is the one time this is bad, isn't it? I rolled a 20. I rolled.
Yeah. Unless your ability is 20, but it turns out it is because you got quick reflexes 15 plus daring of plus 5 bonus. So you're rolling against the 20. So if you roll exactly the number, that's a
Hmm.
big success. So you get
Oh,
2 successes and you've rolled a 20 on top of that. So it's roll high. So 20 is actually a great roll for you.
okay. Okay.
I succeed on a 14, but seeing as you got 2 successes and a 20, it's no good. All right. So you want to describe electrical energy taking out one of these frog people?
Absolutely. I think in the interest of preserving what might be left to observe, she goes for the legs. So nothing else is destroyed. So yeah, she just kind of like points it up towards the face and then she goes, no, too fascinating, and then points it down and hopefully the legs are gone, just disintegrated.
Yeah, well, probably it's more of a stun weapon, so probably its legs will turn to jelly under it. It will probably keep moving slightly longer before it realizes its legs are no longer obeying its instructions and collapse to the floor. And again, everyone can suddenly see it when that happens to it. It then becomes visible as it falls to the ground.
Okay,
All
I
right,
feel kind of bad about it.
normal. Well, I mean, that's how you make first contact, right? With the aid of a lightning gun. Norm stroke burners. What would you like to try and do?
Burners
Both
is
of you can act.
definitely independently, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, Burners is running sort of to try and interpose himself, maybe to sort of tackle one of these things, even though he can't detect it.
Yep.
But Norm is leaning up against the vehicle. He's lighting a cigarette, forgetting and ignoring all of the briefing he had about oxygen pockets and all of that stuff. And he's just trying to light this cigarette. He gets it lit. He's smoking away. At some point, he's probably going to flick it somewhere. So that's what those two are doing.
All right. We
Right
can
against
definitely
the
have a roll
vehicle.
for accidentally trying to set light to one of these creatures in a fireball via your cigarette, if you like. We can
Yeah,
definitely
that
do
sounds
that.
good. That sounds good.
All right. So, what ability we're gonna roll for here?
That's a good question.
It's a good one. I may lean into you have an ability which we may just fudge into being useful, which is you're damn good with a wrench, which I think is your anyway. I would just hit it with something and I would get a good result. So we'll lean into that ability being your I do something slightly absurd, and actually the result works out for me. So that's +5 on your space, which would be a 20. And I'll give you a +5 for Berners interposing himself into probably between them and Maisie. So you can roll against, that's a 25. So you get a success for 20, roll against a 5. Right? And I'll roll for them. All right.
No. I rolled a 20.
Okay, so I rolled a 6. So I get a success on a 6. You have a success from being over 20, but you fail the other roll. So we both have a success, but yours is higher on 20. So yeah, do you want to describe how this accidental fireball takes out the last of these frogmen?
Yeah, I think Norm has got distracted and he's just finishing the cigarette. But he's tuned Berners out. Berners is going, "Sir, please be careful. I have to go and rescue them. I have to destroy myself." And so he's running. And he says, "Please be careful. There are oxygen pockets around here, sir." And he just goes, yeah. Flicks the cigarette towards Berners, expecting Berners maybe to catch it or extinguish it, but it lands by Berners' feet, and he just goes in this as this gas pocket just completely ignites, leaving behind this scorched frogman that just plops over, and Berners still standing, but like now sort of patting himself down.
I'm sure his chrome exterior is proof against probably a flash burn, but he's probably looking a bit puzzled. Yeah.
Berners is giving me the vibe of like a Mr. Meeseeks, like the fact that they want to do their objective and then not be here anymore.
All right, and what we'll do to kind of, I think, end this session is we will have a couple of things. So stumbling into the standing stones, hands tied, presumably a prisoner of these creatures at some point. You see who you recognize from the video to be Louise. Her expedition suit looks tattered. She looks kind of broken, and she falls to her knees saying, "Thank God you've come." And we'll probably sort of end active play there. Ooh. If you'd like, though, we could have a little monologue from each of you as to what you think kind of happens subsequently. Feel free to go in any order that you want. I can call you out if you that's too paralyzing and you want to basically describe.
No, I got this. This is great. We go in this survivors. They've been through harrowing experiences, and we all know harrowing experiences make for great TV. And so we have testimonials from each of them. I get first interviews with each of them before it reaches anyone else. I don't let them go see psychs or docs before they talk to me first. So we go through, we get footage of everything, everyone getting freed, the tears streaming down. It's award-winning stuff. And I think I do make most exciting documentary out of this footage. And I bring my name out of some of the crosshairs that it was maybe in the past from some more questionable documentaries, and am able to rise once again as one of the leading documentarians of this universe. Thank you very much.
And yeah, this is how science gets funded, right?
Yeah, now science gets funded. You're welcome.
I think Maisie and Louise Herr have a very in-depth conversation about everything that's happened, everything they've discovered, over a cup of Caftab, which also is the Kilo Limited, but also Jamaican Blue Mountain. And I'm so glad that Jamaica's canon in this universe. That makes me very happy. And they write a hell of a paper. I think they probably, the frog person was tranquilized. So I think they would get to a situation where they could try and have a safe discussion with it first. But, we do what we can. Either way, there's a paper that's going to be written.
Norm sat in a dive bar somewhere on some orbital monitoring station in between jobs. And some guy comes over and goes, "Hey, that robot of yours, ain't that the robot that saved all those hostages on that frog planet?" And Norm goes, geez, yeah. Yeah, that's why they painted him gold, and now he won't shut up about it. Anyway, no one tells you about what I did. I drove those people out there, you know. I was one of the first people to get spooked by one of those things. I could have died. I'm the guy who drove those hostages back. But you'll never hear my story. The guy's already asking the robot for his autograph.
Yeah, maybe you blame Ali for, you didn't have editorial control and, you just didn't get the shots you wanted.
Bad at it, definitely. I think that Lisa, using her skills of de-escalation, might try and interact with some of the frog people a bit more. If there are any others around, she might, go with a team to help protect her and them, and just try to come to like a peaceful resolution, see what they're about, and like just generally, be in her element of like discovering what these this alien race are about. Yeah.
Excellent. And then just for me, obviously the Star Metal's plans to exploit this planet are entirely scuppered because your report indicates that these creatures must be protected. This primitive, intelligent race, the exploitation by the miners would all be far too terrible.
Even though we blew some of them up. Yes, absolutely.
They were going to kill me.
First contact is always difficult, right? Yeah. Thank you very much for playing. I hope you enjoyed your journey into Questworlds. Do any of you have anything coming up you'd like to make sure everybody kind of knows about while we're having a chat here, or
yes, you can catch me touring for Chaosium on our live Call of Cthulhu tour this summer in the UK. You can find tickets on AEG and Chaosium's socials and my socials. We've posted them about. I hope to see you at the shows.
Nice.
Anybody else?
I'll be at Cheltenham Science Festival this summer doing some stuff that's really exciting. Hasn't been announced yet, I don't think. But yeah, I am a real scientist as well. So if you're interested in the science of hearing loss or anything else, you can catch me on Blue Sky at Sci with Rach, or streaming TTRPGs with Science and Sorcery on Twitch.
Cool.
So yeah, that's me.
I need to ask you about my tinnitus. I'll DM. DM.
Yeah.
You can find me playing actual plays of Call of Cthulhu mostly, either on my podcast, The Apocalypse Players, or over on YouTube on Chaotic Neutral.
I am a part of a actual play show and interview show called Three Black Halflings, with Jasper William Cartwright and Jeremy Cobb and myself. We've recently released an actual play called City of the Black Rose, Herald of Shadows. Josephine makes an appearance as well, so that's wonderful. There you are. So you should definitely check that out. And also we've got like a Kickstarter thing coming up, so you should definitely keep an eye out for that as well. And I'm at Does Dark Magic on various platforms, including Twitch and Blue Sky, maybe. Yeah. Thanks, Ian.
Okay, very cool. Thank you very much, folks. And you can get Questworlds at Chaosium's own site or drive through. I'm not allowed to promise future books, but you might imagine this setting is one that we've been working on. That may possibly, if marketing wouldn't say, you can't say that, Ian, may possibly emerge at some point. Anyway.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for running it for us, Ian.
Yeah,
I'm really, really glad you enjoyed it. Thanks very much.